back, everyone, to our Groundskeeper chat series. We are live here from Louisville, Kentucky at the PGMS show. We're already off to a great start. We kicked off the show today with Paula Sleefer and Sun Roseline. And right now in the background, we have Dave Meller, former Boston Red Sox groundskeeper.
Yes.
Keeping everyone entertained in the ballroom while I welcome my next two guests to the show. So, gentlemen, as I told the ladies earlier this morning, I'm just going to pass the baton and allow my guests to introduce themselves because
Sounds
probably
great.
1 out of 10 times do I actually get it right. Whether it's pronouncing their name or their title or, where they're from. So, Vince, I will allow you to properly introduce yourself.
That's great.
And then you can pass the baton to
I will
to
pass
Michael.
it to Michael, absolutely. Vince Jagodzinski. I am the Vice President of PGMS. I am a grounds manager and field testing manager for Stanley Black & Decker in Valley City, Ohio. Wonderful. So I'm going to pass it on to Michael Gildea, our forever leader here for PGMS.
Yeah, so my name is Michael Gildea. I'm fortunate to be the president of PGMS. And that's my full-time job. My other job is director of horticulture at the Chevy Chase Club, a private club just outside of Washington, D.C.
Yes, and we talked about that in our time in Cleveland. And I was just saying this in the last chat, and I'll say it a million times on Groundskeeper chat. You will never have a full scope on what people can do in this industry. Like, talking to you 6 years into the gig, myself 6 years in, and being like, oh my gosh, somebody does that. And you were telling me a little bit about the flowers and everything and the membership, how important it is for the grounds to look the way they do. And I was just completely enthralled by everything you said. So I'm so happy to have you back today in a longer time slot, because when we were in Cleveland, we kind of had the happy hour atmosphere where I was speed dating with everyone. So 10 to 15 minute time slots. So I'm very happy to welcome you back, Michael, and give you the full enchilada, the full Groundskeeper chat episode here.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me back, and I'd say it's quite an honor to talk to you again. I enjoyed it last time too.
Likewise, friend. And you said something earlier this morning that the theme of this year's show, I can't remember exactly what you said. I'm giving you a softball pitch here. What was that theme that you said was of this year's show?
Yeah, so the title of our conference is Transform, and so it's really about transformative education, and I think David is a perfect person to lead that off because his story is so inspirational, right? Yes. And I think I listen to someone like him, to me, I feel transformed. Yes. He just makes us feel like we can do anything, right? Yes, and yes. And I think Vince and the education committee have put together just a great program that I think everyone will leave this week transformed in the better people. Yes. Not just better grounds managers or horticulturists, but better people.
Definitely. And you said the underlying theme was, I think it was just listen to whatever Vince tells us to do.
and that's I was going to talk about that later today. That's basically is just that my role this week is to stand next to Vince's right shoulder and just do whatever he tells me to do for the week. Yeah, so that's really the official theme. Yeah, I think it's on our shirt. So
yes, the theme of the show is shirts. So as many shirts as we can get packed into our swag bag. So yes, no.
I will say the swag is quite impressive over there.
It was a definite effort this year to make sure that our swag was
Were you heading that department up?
You will find as you walk through the day that you'll hear about the asterisks for a lot of classes and events, and the asterisk is basically it's a Vince shirt.
I love it.
Yes, there's an asterisk by it. That means Vince is giving out a shirt or swag to it. So
oh my goodness.
So yes, it's we made an effort for it. Again, I think swag is helpful, but I also it says a message to it, and that's what we're really trying to do. Is we've got a lot of cool things. Michael was talking about it as being transformed, but we made an effort this year, the committee, and again, I got to thank the committee. We have a lot of great individuals from PGMS, and these are professionals from all different areas that helped with this committee this year, looking at how do we transform our education plan for 2025. And we came through, we have, I think it's anywhere from 8 to 11 more sessions than we did last year. So we've got a lot of concurrent sessions running with different people. I'm going to plug some of the people that we do work with, SFMA. You had Paula and Son on, obviously, very big proponents and supporters of SFMA. But we're coordinating a lot of our efforts with the other associations that are out there.
Definitely.
A lot of different education going on with it. So we have a community outreach event this year, which we haven't had for a few years now. So we were able to work with the Olmsted Network here in Louisville and Project Evergreen. It's based out of Cleveland, so it's close to my hometown. But Cindy Code, who is the director there, is a fantastic advocate for everything to help everywhere and everybody. And we were able to coordinate with them this year. So we have a nice little community outreach program for Wednesday afternoon. We have some great speakers. Again, I can't. David Millar is a great way to kick this off.
Definitely.
A lot of great sessions. Tomorrow is a great session. We got Breakfast of Champions with a dear friend of ours, Jeff McManus. So he's the director of landscaping down in the University of Texas. But just a great motivational speaker. Fantastic message. Again, more about people. Than just grounds management. And I think that's what you could take away from everybody that you're going to talk to today on the podcast is it's about the people, about the relationships, 100%. About being better people.
Definitely. Well, and we were talking about it in our opening podcast today, but also just a theme in our Groundskeeper chat series is, and I like that it really goes nicely with the theme of the conference, is that being involved in groups like this really can change your career. And it can transform, how you see your day-to-day. It can transform that next step for you. But it also can, like you said, the people, that community that you have, whether it ends up helping you professionally or personally, it completely changes the landscape of what your life looks like.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because I can speak personally. I've had people that took me under their wing when I was early in my career and really changed the direction of where I would have gone in my career. And with that, one of the people that I brought to the conference today is one of our interns, Jake Darling, and just a great, really wonderful young man.
Incredible last name.
Isn't it a great name? and you'll see him, and anyway, he looks like Jake Darling. But like I say, he just is beside himself with getting a chance to meet people like Vince and David Muller and these people that are at the top of their profession, and he's a recent graduate from University of Vermont, and so he's really literally just starting out his career and getting to be, inspired by meeting these people that are further along in our career and but have been quite successful. So
well, and I can speak to that in this, like, there's nobody in this industry that's inaccessible. No matter what stage of their profession they're at, they can so perfectly remember being at that first step.
100%.
In their willingness to bring you along with them instead of being like, well, you have to do this, and that before I could even talk to you. It's like, nope, come on, get in the caravan, like we're going. And in my first exposure to the industry, I think was like 3 months into working at Pioneer. My boss took me to the Ohio Turfgrass Conference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great conference.
A conference similar to size as this one. So it was perfect because it wasn't too overwhelming. And I can just remember, I probably talked to 3 or 4 people that, I was able to pull aside, but it was like, okay, I'm going to be okay here. And how pivotal that is when you are starting off in a new industry that is so niche and unknown to so many. You're kind of like, where am I going to find my footing here? Like, I know that I was given a job title and I was given a job description, but like, what does that really look like? And when you're able to come to conferences like this or be a part of associations or societies and have that living, breathing image of what your career could look like, and having people that are saying, oh, and I'll show you how to get there. It's incredible.
I went for a time where I think everyone in my department had gone into grounds management or horticulture as a second career because they were drawn to it because they're like, everybody's so nice. They will tell you everything. They're just so welcoming.
Truly.
And where it's like, I worked as a engineer and nobody would share anything with me.
Yes. One of my favorite turf origin stories is Vince's, starting off with that passion for art and in having like a local greenhouse, a family kind of bring you under their wing and saying, hey, you could have a future in this. But I loved how you said it when I came out to Valley City and I was able to visit Vince, because I'm really terrible at geography. But apparently we live like 20 minutes away from each other.
Oh, that's funny.
Which is insanely embarrassing when he explained that to me in Cleveland. He was like, yeah, I'm literally right down the road. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I was able to come and visit Vince, and he said that in our conversations that day that, this industry is the blend of so many different things. You like the engineering side, you could have a full STEM career in the green industry.
Exactly.
You like the art side,
100%.
Oh my gosh!
Right.
Like you're in the right place. You like the networking or the people management or the mentorship. Like we're here. It's this perfect synergy of all these different walks of life.
You like the daily grind. You can get in. You can get your hands dirty at times. You can you can sell plants to members right at the Chevy Chase Club. I think that's some of the things as we've at least grown through the industry. The way I looked at it is coming up and through, and then joining associations was never on my radar.
Really?
Yeah, it really wasn't. It's, one of the things, we talked about Paula and how much Paula meant to me as I moved from a grounds management role to more of a selling role for a couple of years with Stanley Black & Decker was, finding my footing. But I think it helped me to become a better grounds manager. Mm-hmm. But I think the associations, as I've become more involved with PGMS over the years, is, you're right, everybody's nice. Everybody's very open and welcoming, but how do you know to get there? Yeah. And right, so I think I believe in the message of PGMS is we got to get out there and we've got to grab these people and let them know that this is what's going on and here's opportunities. So how do we get that message out there? And it's the people that are within the organization talking about their stories and stuff like you do for Pioneer Athletics. This is fantastic. This is listen to a lot of the podcasts that you've done in the past, but the messaging out there is, we're here. Yeah. Right? So instead of forcing somebody that's new to the industry coming in and saying, well, I don't really know who to talk to, is that we're more open. And I think Michael will talk about this is as a grounds manager, most of us are introverts. Yes. Right? So it's very challenging for us to be extroverts out there. And there's a few of us that sit there and we have no problem talking to people and engaging and telling stories. But the point is when you're young and you're starting out, you're a little nervous of how things are going to turn out. So how do we welcome? How do we open? And I think that's part of the association's job is to help that. And I'm really proud of what our message has been, especially over the last few years, on how we were trying to reach not a certain segment, but everybody that wants to be involved.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. I mean, one of the things, we do tend to be introverts, right? And we hold ourselves to a high standard. And so when we reach that high standard, we just think, well, that's a C, right? Because that's what we're expected to do, right? Yeah. But as an organization, we need to make sure that our members recognize what you do is really special. Yes. And we need to celebrate that, right? Where you may not want to blow your own horn, we'll do it for you, right? Yes. And because we have people that do amazing things, and for them it's Tuesday. Exactly. Right? And but you say I always say with my work, I make it's actually one of the things I like about having our interns is we want to make sure that it is mutually beneficial, right? Mm-hmm. So they're there, we're there to teach them, they're going to work for us, but we're also going to teach them, right? Yeah. And we take them to other places that with different missions in the area, other gardens or public gardens or private clubs, and to see how they operate, and then we invite other people in, right? And we hosted a PGMS DC branch meeting at Chevy Chase Club, and again, we think of things as this is the way it should be because it's what it is, and you have people come in and it's like, this is really amazing. And we just see it, like we see it every day, and you stop. Again, I say this all the time. We're in the business of finding problems, and we're really, really good at it,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And we're not, but we need to be good at recognizing both what we can improve, but what we do well also, right?
Yes.
And I think that's one of our goals for this year is to, and it's one of our strategic visions is to celebrate our members and celebrate the profession, right?
Yes.
And I think to that point, I mean, like you say with Vince mentioned, some of the organizations that we collaborate with, certainly, Sports Field Managers Association, the Olmsted Network, Project Evergreen. We've started working with Seed Your Future that promotes young people to pursue careers in horticulture.
That's a really exciting one. That Michael has really spearheaded this and was able to start moving with this. And this is, I think it's just exciting as we look at now. Everybody talks about youth, but it's more about different areas. And Michael's definitely, as he's led this, very excited about the possibilities as we move forward.
It's like say when you're in a profession for a long time, it's fun to see the eyes see the world through the eyes of an emerging professional, right? Or someone that's even just thinking about a career, right? They're like, go back to Jake. He's so excited about everything,
Yes.
and it's just like everything is amazing. I laugh about it with Vince, and I talk about our grandchildren all the time. But because like everything is new and exciting, right?
Yes.
And I get that. I say it, and it's a fact that our interns, I am inspired by them.
Yes.
They provide more of a benefit. In my mind, they benefit me more than I. Hopefully, I try to provide some mentorship to them, and I hope most of them have gone on to some really exciting careers. So I guess we're doing something right. So.
And those relationships are so important because of what you just said, that
Right.
getting that fresh set of eyes in there, that new perspective, it really does just bring a new life to your own gig that, you may have been doing it for 10, 15, 20, 40 years, who knows? Like, and what it really does to serve in that inspiration for sure. And, the Groundskeeper chat really was bred from, like you said, celebrating, this industry.
Yeah.
Because Abby McNeil, she's a sports turf manager in Louisville, Colorado.
Yep.
And she coined the term for me the first time that she loves being a magic elf working in the background. Like she, skitters out in the dark of night or when nobody's there, no fans are there, and she provides this, wonderful thing for people to enjoy when she's nowhere near after it's all said and done.
Right.
And I was like, that's awesome. Like that is such a cool perspective. But how much cooler would be if the little league teams or the parents or the athletes who are like, I want to stay close to the game, but I don't know how. If they did see you and they could put a name and face to what this career is, and it really was bred from that, where it was like, let's celebrate these jobs. It is such a cool thing that you can keep in your back pocket that people show up and the job is done. Like, and they don't even have to think about it. But how much cooler it is when they can say, like, I love being at like a football watch party or something with a bunch of guys who think they know everything about football, and I'll be like, "You guys know how much the paint is on that field?" Like, and they'll be like, "What are you talking?" And then you just blow their minds.
Exactly.
They've never paid attention to it before, right?
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's a great origin story for even the podcast, right? So that's something new. And again, with that whole idea with our industry this morning, right? So again, Paula was one of your early guests, right? So talked to Paula early, just kind of hanging out, and again, words of wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So this is, and it's unsolicited, but it's one of those things where it just happens.
Yeah.
It's very organic in our industry, and Paula she said, "Hey, nice job."
Yeah.
right, for this conference. And I said, well, we'll see. She goes, okay, so we're going to step back and
Yeah.
you're going to learn how to take a compliment. And
Yeah.
what you say is, thank you. Nice job, Vince. Well, thank you. And she goes, there we go. Step one, right? And
Why is that so difficult?
and I don't know, but when as you were talking, it was one of those things where you're like, okay, yes, but. And she goes, no, there's no but.
Yeah.
Okay, just move on. We're good, right?
Yeah.
And again, we've talked on our separate podcasts about Paula.
Yes.
And the affection I have for Paula and what she brings to the industry. But I think it's those moments that you see with, like Michael talking to Jake, or we'll see other people here that will talk to the people that they work with, or people that are peers, and then you hear these comments, right? If you just listen to what people are talking about, it is so informative and so positive.
Yeah.
I think that's with the way the world is and the way we look at things and the way we see things and things happen to us. Our industry has a tendency to take you under the wing,
Yes.
give you a little bit of nurturing, and then say, "Okay, go do it, man.
Yep.
Let's see what's happening with you," and then come back. You need help? I'm here. But it's nurture then release, and it's just such a great cycle. And I'm so happy and proud to be part of this organization that is trying to do more of that as we move forward in this world. So. Again, just a really positive association in what we try to accomplish here. So
Definitely. Well, and for our listeners, as you guys know, we're a majority sports turf managers.
Yes.
We are bred from the SFMA.
Yes.
So give us that elevator pitch for anybody that is listening and may not know why they should also be involved in PGMS.
I'll start, and then Michael will
Perfect.
clean up because he's going to be the heavy hitter. the point is we do the same things.
Yep.
We deal with the same issues. Yes, hort, ag, turf, whatever you want to look at that. Yeah, but again, I think we've talked about it in the beginning. It's the people. It's
Yep.
the leadership. It's the management. It's helping. And how do we do those things? We all do the same things.
Yep.
It's just maybe the specifics are slightly different, but we do the same things. And it's just another network,
Yes.
another library, another resource to help you do your job
Another
better.
lifeline if it's ever needed.
100%.
Yep.
So then Michael will smash it home.
What and I say all the time that on my job description there's that line that says other duties as assigned.
Yes.
And that's where you spend about 80% of your time,
Exactly.
right? And I find with our membership, again, to the sports field management side of things, I would say probably the majority of our members that is a line on their job description that is very overt, right?
Yes,
And
yeah.
but then there's all those other things that you do, right,
Yes,
in your day to day. And that's one of the things that we actually laugh about that we struggle with a bit, defining grounds maintenance, right?
Yeah.
So what do you? It's everything. You know, we're maintaining everything from lighting, to hardscapes, to gardens and
Yes.
horticulture and trees, and it's all those other duties as assigned. So it's not, and that's one of the great things about being fortunate to be able to collaborate with someone like Paula, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she has all those understandings of all those fields, but sports fields management is very specific and it's very technical, but often those people that are managing those sports fields are managing all the other things as
Other
well,
duties
right?
assigned,
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
And when I was in Valley City, you had a gentleman who was so passionate about his hardscapes and
Yes.
and the different plants and trees
Yes.
and
Yes.
everything that had. And I reflect back on that because I
Right.
think about, sometimes on the SFMA side or sports turf managers,
Right.
there's a very common theme of, it's a negative term, but it's a reality, burnout.
Correct.
Because there is such high pressure, and it is
Yes.
sometimes a very monotonous,
Yes.
I've got to turn it, and then we've got batting practice, and then we've got, we've
Correct.
got fans here.
Right.
And I think about the other duties assigned and how that could refuel somebody that's thick in it.
Yeah.
If you could take, some time away from maybe the thing that is stressing you out and have a resource from a society or association like this that's like, hey, you could, really put in some beautiful hardscapes in your arena, your stadium's entryway or something, and how that could just not even thinking of it, but how that could refuel someone's passion for the green industry.
So, and just with the individual from Valley City on the team. So one of the things that
remind me of his name.
Is Brandon.
Brandon,
But Brandon, and again, just a very good young leader. You know, we talk about Jacob and everything that's going through at Chevy Chase. Brandon is just an individual that is very passionate about what he does, and you kind of got some of that. So some of the things that I look at with like PGMS that can help him, and other associations like NALP and SFMA. SFMA is a little bit of an offshoot for us, what we do at our company. However, it is something that pertains to what Brandon does.
Yep.
So as you talk about burnout and what goes through and the hours that you put in for these jobs. So Brandon, one of the things that he went through this year, which again, I'm very proud of with PGMS, is the LEAD program.
Yes.
So it's a leadership program. So it is, you already know how to, grow grass, plant trees, mulch things, got it. Snow and ice, you got it. Leadership. How do you help people with leadership? How do you lead people?
Yep.
And how do you understand people, right? So we think it's a soft skill that you would know, and you grew up and you talk to people. We know that's not it, right? So how do we help with that? And this LEAD program, which is about 13 months, it's an extensive program that you go through is just helping people to, again, find another avenue. Okay, this stresses me out.
Yep.
Leading and guiding people down the path that I need them to go to, and this is stressful. Well, these are tools that are supposed to help you. And I think I can say this for Brandon, is that he's learned a lot on how to handle situations a little bit differently, and gives them another tool in that belt to move forward.
Yep.
So I think that's one thing that I wanted to talk about as we came on here was our LEAD program, is that if you're interested in it, it's something that you should really reach out for us, because it's something that's definitely going to help you in many levels. And it's not just about grounds management. It is, we've had different individuals from different facility jobs that have taken this course.
Very cool.
And it's something that I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, but I've talked to Paula about, and have talked about SFMA, and it's information that we are able to help as PGMS to different associations and different people. So I think that is very one of the drivers right now, is this LEAD program that we offer is very helpful for young, middle, older, however you want to look at it, wherever you are in your career. This is going to help you with another tool.
And just how important it is for people to have those tools. Like you said, it can't be an assumption that it's just a soft skill that you have. Because I can think back, there was a time in my career where I didn't have the proper leadership, and I was literally signed up to completely switch careers because that one person had that big of an impact on me.
It's amazing.
I mean, you go to your work every day and you're interacting with somebody who has their job is so impactful to your life.
Yes.
And as a young professional, I was like, okay, I've seen what I need to see. I'm out. And luckily, financial aid didn't come through for me to go back to school. That was the thing that I was like, okay, I got to make this work somehow. And I found Pioneer, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, it's not all like that.
Right.
But that's why programs like LEAD or learning those skills or honestly just taking it seriously.
Correct.
Because you may not think that, you having 3 young, guys, gals on your crew makes that big of a difference, but you could actually be moving the needle forward for the industry if you do the right job.
Or backwards.
Yes,
and I think
exactly.
that's what you're talking about, right? And that's I think something that's not said very often, is that we can very easily, as leaders of people, move that needle the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I guess, again, this is something I think that I think as good professionals, and I'm pointing to Michael because I look at him as an example of what you would want to see in a leader.
Yes.
And it's been a pleasure to serve with Michael as he's been president for PGMS, is how do you handle yourself? How do you compose yourself with individuals? How do you talk to people?
Yeah.
Right? A simple, hey, how you doing? Good morning. It's nice to see you. I mean, something that simple, and treating as a person as an individual that you want to talk to and want to engage with.
Yep.
This individual, Michael Gildea, is probably the epitome of what kind of leadership you'd want to see. So I'm happy for Jake. I'm happy for Chevy Chase Club, and I'm also happy for PGMS.
Yes.
But it is very possible to have those people that you move the needle backwards.
Yeah.
And we want to avoid that. So how do you do that? Tools.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. I have to learn. I'm going to listen to Paula and take the compliment.
Yes, take
Thank
the
you.
compliment.
That was my test. So Paula, if you're listening, there you go.
We passed.
I worked.
But it is interesting, right? Because I was fortunate. My life was changed dramatically by someone who was very seasoned professional, very, very highly educated, who took me on. He became my mentor.
Yes.
And really changed the direction of my life. I mean, I really felt like this person. He was the curator of horticulture at the Philadelphia Zoo. He got me passionate about a whole with horticulture and a whole area that I had never thought about before, right? And as a career, I mean, I had worked in gardens, but with that, it was kind of interesting. I was fortunate to be in the first cohort through our lead program, and so it was 12 other people were in the program with me, and to a person, we all, like when we were describing what we got out of the program, the common theme was empathy.
Yeah.
Where you think that, oh no, leader is, the general mode, where you do it because I said so, right?
Yeah.
Where this was, we all came out of it saying, I can now see things from others' points of view, mm-hmm. right? And I realize that how I treat people is, if I treat them with respect, that will be reciprocal, yeah. Right? And so that, and what I, if we all have a common goal, and if I'm clear about that goal, then we'll all be rowing in the same direction, right? And I thought that was really fascinating, that what I came out, again, to a person, everyone said, I learned to be more empathetic, yep. and say one of the is to kind of close the loop on the certifications, again, as grounds managers, I've one of the things that we've changed at my work is we no longer say we're very busy. Mm-hmm. Slight change. Now we say we're very active. Right.
I love it.
The facility is very active today, right? And it's very, it's a lot of activity. It just has a little bit of a positive spin, right? And as grounds managers, one of the things I hear all the time is, "Man, we are so busy," right? Yeah. And with that, we focus. We tend to be reactive versus proactive, right? Mm-hmm. And part of that proactivity is some of it is self-promotion, and it's showing that you are proficient at your job. So going through a certification program like LEAD, where you have a certificate and you can show that I'm not only, I don't have to just tell you, I can show you that I have successfully completed a program. And that's I would say that with our certified grounds management program and our certified grounds technician program is the same thing, right? It's that looking at things, looking at your career in a long view. Sometimes we kind of get to that we're just thinking, I'm just trying to get through today, right? And like say, and wanting to be in the background, right? Yeah. And there is, but if you're going to be successful in your career and avoid burnout, quite frankly, because you wind up talking to your peers and you're going through and you realize that, hey, I'm actually pretty good at this, right? And somebody else is telling me it, and I'm taking the compliment, right? And it can kind of get you through. I mean, we all have that cycle where sometimes we're down. That's human. Yeah. That's the human experience, right? Mm-hmm. But taking the time, I say to your point about wanting to work in the background, there is that fine line between, well, I just want everyone to think that gnomes come out at night and make all this pretty, right? And but then there's also that taking the opportunity to no, actually it wasn't gnomes.
Yeah. Exactly. And so logistically, how can people find this LEAD program and how can they sign up for it?
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued by it. I don't know if I would qualify because I don't actually work in grounds management.
Doesn't
But-
matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great.
It does.
great
So I think that's the big stressor that I want to keep on
Okay.
going through is, yes, grounds management, we're the association. Yes. However, we realize that there is a marketplace.
Yep.
It sounds like a salesman, right? But there is a marketplace for this because it's such a dynamic program where
Very cool.
you're going to have speakers and presenters from all walks of life that are going to come in and are going to talk about different examples, and there's going to be technical pieces, and then there's going to be emotional, and then positivity, and then there's going to be tactical, right?
Very
all that. So it's not just like, okay, we're going to plant that tree over there, or we're going to
Yep.
take care of the turf, and we're going to mow it in stripes this way. It's not the case. So everybody and anybody, I'm going to keep on stressing that. So our website, we
Okay.
can go on PGMS.org, and we can find the lead program on there. It's going to be under education, and we can
Very
sign
cool.
up there. While we're at the conference, if anybody's around, if you know of anybody, obviously Michael Gildea, president, Vince Jagodzinski, vice president, anybody on the board, any name that's on that website
Yep.
can direct you to the right location to sign up for lead
Very cool.
and commit to it at any point. But yes, this is open to everybody and anyone. And I went through with Michael. We were in the same class. And again, the same thing. It's just such a wealth of knowledge
Very cool.
of going through and helping how you want to grow. So, yeah, so definitely Pioneer Athletics. Yeah, that fits.
Yep, sign me up.
That fits.
That sounds
You
awesome.
really need to learn how to talk to people, Meg.
I
So-
know.
so-
I really struggle with that. I do.
the shy Meg version here that we've got going on. So, but it is definitely.
Well, something I
Something that
do
helps.
struggle with is that my job is literally getting to a certain level with people so that they feel like they can open up.
Oh yeah.
And so that's what I do on a daily job. Like I keep digging until they feel comfortable to open up. So I have felt sometimes in leadership positions that
Yes.
I don't know when to stop digging and keep it so that I am a mentor, but I don't
Yeah.
become a friend. And of course you want to be friendly
Of
with
course, yes.
and I don't want to be intimidating or
Yep.
give off terrible energy, but it always seems to cross the line where it's like, okay, I'm no longer somebody you report to about the things that need to get done. We're not really focusing on the to-do lists anymore. It's like,
Right.
I want to talk to you about, I really struggle with that because my job is
Yeah.
to dig deep and get people to see me as a friend. So then when I've been in leadership positions, it's
Right.
like, where are those boundaries that keep a healthy...
That's a great example.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say from just you talking about it, I'm like, oh my, that is another avenue of looking at it, right? And again,
Yeah.
we talked about people from different aspects and different viewpoints. Absolutely, lead would fit that.
Yes.
Right. You would have I guess I look at it this way. In the company that I'm in, we do a lot of leadership training at times, right? And it's, okay, we're going to send you to this, and you're going to do a 2-day course seminar on leadership.
Yes, yeah.
And it was helpful, but it didn't engage.
Yeah.
This program, what I like about it is, yes, it's 13 months. It's once a month that you're involved in this class, and it's a couple hours, 3 hours on that day, but you're engaged with your peers.
Yeah.
Teams, Zoom, however you want to look, virtual, okay?
Yeah.
But you're engaged with the speakers, right? And you take a lot from it, and then you do a reflection paper, which is kind of cool. You
Oh,
put it
very
in your own
cool.
words of what did you learn from
Yeah,
this? And I
I
think
love
Michael's
that.
talking a little bit about it. So you do this, and then you turn it in. It's like an assignment.
I love
but
it.
the point is that you're taking that information, you're processing it through your own way, and then you're spitting it back out, and you're giving it to other people
Yes.
to say, okay, here's what's going on. I've found that so engaging and so easy to learn more about. Empathy was a big one, right?
Yeah.
And leadership skills that, yeah, okay, I get it. But it helped me kind of put that into a base area and say, okay, let's utilize this the next time I have an opportunity. Then you saw
Yes.
the opportunities out there.
Yes.
So as you're talking about, I could see, hey, this is an opportunity. I'm like, oh, hey, Mark Kenny was talking about this one, and
Yep,
that
yep.
kind of makes sense, and I'm going to click that in. So,
Very
yeah,
cool.
I like that. I didn't think of it that way. I don't know if
Yeah.
you did, Michael, but I thought with the way Meg was explaining it, I go, yeah, lead fits right there.
Yeah, and I'm sure it fits so many other components of it, but especially with a crew and with people that are golf course or campus management, grounds, you're spending so much time with
Correct.
these folks.
Yes.
So it just seems like such a big stressor that you have these positive leadership like people in those positions, but also just positive relationships as a whole.
I think part of it too, and sorry, Michael, I know that you're getting ready. I love this program so much. I look at it as part of LEAD that maybe I didn't mention was the idea of, it is going to maybe the wrong term, but talking up.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the University of Akron, when I worked there, I did a lot of speaking engagements with VPs and presidents, and so that was natural for me. But this course also allows you to, how do you approach that next level up and present yourself as a professional, but also get the information across the way you need to, right? To say, okay, it's not only leading people, but it's also how do we talk to leadership?
Yes.
And
I've coined that term, earning a seat at the table.
Great term.
So that when you're at the table, you can present yourself in the way that we talk about that all the time on the Groundskeeper chat. It's, earning yourself at the table, and then when you're finally there, how do you...
Meg, you made the book.
I love it.
You made the book. Meg made the book. This is fantastic.
Well, Michael, you'll have to go back in our archives. We have a whole series on it, and I'm not the expert on it. So that's the beauty of this podcast, is that I interviewed folks in the industry who I saw effectively earned themselves a seat at the table, and whether the position existed or not, or the conversations existed or not before, they made those conversations happen. And you see it. So I think in this profession, a lot of the folks are seen as, they drive around in a golf cart all day. They're not going to come into the boardroom and give this presentation on numbers and figures, but that's absolutely where they should be.
Yes.
That's absolutely where they should be, because they're the ones they may be at the end product. They're the executors of the vision and the goal, so they should be there from the very beginning. And that's what the earning your seat at the table is all about. Is we talk about it a lot with these stadiums and the events calendars that they're asked to manage now, and we talk about it in terms of you should be in that room when that schedule is being formulated, or when the budget is being allocated for what it looks like to turn a concert back into a playing field.
Yes.
And so many of our professionals have done so effectively. And how do you get it in every avenue of our career? How do you get it as if they're putting a ton of budget towards orientation or the spring campus visits? How are you making sure that some of that budget is coming to your campus grounds department and things like that? So that I get really passionate about that topic, and
and it's not about that moment where tomorrow we have it's the year before. It's getting into those cycles that we've talked about. So,
and I actually love that, describing it as earning your seat at the table, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that again that goes to that a little bit of the self-promotion, right? And where sometimes I think it's in all professions. There's a little bit of imposter syndrome. It's like, geez, my hands are dirty. Why they're not going to listen to me? So we've already accepted that we're not worthy of that seat at the table.
It's easy to accept that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That it's easy to be like, they don't want to hear from me, because if you look at the alternative, it's like, I'm gonna have to put myself out there,
right?
Yeah.
And that's scary.
But it's also recognizing, and I think that's one of the benefits of, well, one, participating in any professional association, but also that certification program, where you realize that you're a subject matter expert. I mean, I work at a private club, right? Mm-hmm. And so I have people that I talk to people all the time that have argued cases in front of the Supreme Court. I have members that are on the Supreme Court. I mean, I probably shouldn't mention that, but they will ask people that are, again, very high level, that will ask. They come to me to ask me questions about their trees and about their landscape, and and the ability to recognize that, hey, these are people at the top of their field that are coming to me because they recognize me as being, approaching the top of my field, right? And one of the greatest compliments I get is, oh, I just wait to see what you're doing, and I just do that at home.
I love
it. And say that, and I think that's, again, going back to that's our professional association with SFMA and PGMS and the others that we mentioned, that it's our job to help our members recognize that hey, you're pretty darn good.
I love it. And if that's the takeaway, but so many takeaways just from this episode, that I appreciate you both sitting in on and contributing to.
I just signed you up for lead.
I was
so
literally
you're
going
all
to
set.
say,
You're already registered.
After we press record here, I'm very intrigued by that. I think you guys did a wonderful pitch of it. And I hope anybody listening, whether your call to action here today is to, look for your local chapter or just peruse a website and find that community, find that network. I hope that's what.
Yeah, get to pgms.org and you'll
Yes.
find the local branches. Branches are a huge deal. They're on there. So yes, absolutely.
I saw all of them represented in
Yes.
the little tags over there, and I was amazed. There were Utah, Arizona,
Oh
all
yes,
of them here.
absolutely.
And how these connections can carry you. Really, I find so much in my personal life, the connections that I'm able to rely on when I need that boost, that cheerleader in my personal side, but obviously so much on the professional side
100%.
as well. So thank you both so much. I really do appreciate the time, and a compliment to you both. The conference looks like it's off to a smashing success. So
Thank you, Meg.
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
It's wink, wink, Paula.
Yeah.
You got that one.